Okay, now we're going to look at some notes for solving a system of linear equations using the linear combination method. And we just got done talking about the substitution method, and that is okay to use in certain instances based on what the equation looks like. And then we also started the unit talking about solving by graphing. So we've got three major methods that we're focusing on in this unit, and all three of them will get you to the same answer if done correctly. It's just a matter of which one is easiest based on the format of the equations. So for these two problems, we're going to go to the second one first because I think it's a little bit easier explanation. So what you want to notice with linear combination is both of the equations have to be written already in what we call standard form. Standard form just means that it's the x value added to the y value equal to the constant. So if you notice that the x's are lined up vertically, the y terms are lined up, the equal signs are lined up, and the constants. So linear combination means that we want to look at these columns and we want to decide, can we do something to the equation so that one of these columns, whether it's the x column or the y column, will cancel each other out when you add them together. And you can see right off the bat that 1/2 x and negative 1/2 x are opposites. So when we add them together, we are going to get 0x. So that's going to cancel off. So we're going to continue adding here. Negative 5y plus 10y is 5y. And negative 45 plus negative 20 is negative 65. Okay, now we're going to divide both sides by y, and we get, divide both sides by 5, and we get negative 13. Okay, so just like before, we now have half of our solution. We know that the y value is negative 13. So to find the x value, we go back up into here, and we can use either equation. So I'm going to use the top equation. So 1/2 x minus 5 times the y value, which we just found out, has to equal negative 45. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of calculating. Negative 5 times negative 13 is positive 65 because a negative 5 times negative 13 becomes positive. Now I'm going to subtract 65 from both sides to get this to disappear. And I'm left with negative 110. Now to get rid of this 1/2, I can divide both sides by a half, or I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Multiplying by the reciprocal makes these things cancel, and we get x equals negative 220. So our ordered pair, our solution is the ordered pair negative 220, comma, negative 13. So let's go up to this equation, and you can see that the x's are lined up vertically, the y's, the constants, and the equal signs. But when you first glance at this, notice that these are not opposites. So we want to think about what can we multiply one or both of these equations by so that we will produce opposites. Well, with a little bit of looking, you notice that if you double 1.4, you would get 2.8. So instead of just doubling it to make it 2.8, we are going to multiply this entire equation by negative 2. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this first equation. We're going to multiply by 1, which means we're going to keep it exactly the same. So I'm going to rewrite that equation exactly the same right here, just so that we can keep everything lined up. But now I'm going to go through and multiply this bottom equation. Every single part of it has to be multiplied by negative 2. So I get negative 2.8x. Negative 2 times 2y is negative 4y. And negative 2 times negative 9.4 is positive 18.8. So it's important that when you multiply this entire equation by -2, you don't forget this value over here. So now we're going to add these together. We notice that these are opposite, so they're going to zero out. -5.7 minus 4 more is -9.7y. And then when I add -13.95 plus 18.8, I get 4.85. Now I'm going to divide both sides by -9.7. So when I do that, I get y equals -1/2. So that means that is half of our ordered pair. So now I'm going to take y equals -1/2, and I'm going to go back up here into whatever equation I want, and I'm going to plug in y, the y value of -1/2. So I'm going to use this bottom equation. It says 1.4x plus 2 times -1/2. Well, if I double -1/2, I'm going to end up with -1. So again, what I did is I did 2 times y, but instead of y, I plugged in -1/2. So now I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So when I add 1 to -9.4, I get -8.4. And then I'm going to divide. When I divide both sides by 1.4, I get x equals 6. So my ordered pair is the ordered pair 6, -1/2. So please put these in your notebooks as well, and then you continue on with your work today.